Hello, my name is Dr. Tracy Stuarty, and this is the second part in the two-part series on how diet and emotion impact your digestive health. In part 1, we started with the Chinese medicine 5-element theory and discussed the earth element and its associated organs, the spleen and the stomach. We talked about how a diet high in damp or sweet foods, or with an all-consuming emotion of overthinking, which may incorporate worry or stress, can damage these organs. The resulting symptoms may be slowdown in digestion, loose stools, abdominal pain with gas and bloating, and generalized feelings of fatigue or tiredness. For some people who want to transition off diets high in damp or sweet foods, they go with a transition to cold foods, such as salads or maybe juicing and raw foods. And unfortunately, they may experience an exacerbation in their symptoms with regard to loose stools and abdominal pain because these types of foods can further weaken the spleen. If you are trying to improve your diet and possibly cut out some of the damp or sweet foods, but have already done damage to your spleen, it's important to first consume warm or cooked foods and allow the spleen time to heal, and then you can incorporate some of the raw foods and the salads and the juices. For today's part, we want to talk about the second element that's very important in digestion, which is the wood element, and its associated organs, the liver and the gallbladder. This particular element is also associated with a wind environment, a sour taste, and the emotion anger, which also branches out into things like frustration, annoyance, irritation, and repressed emotions. These are important because the liver has two major functions, the first of which is ensuring that our emotions are well regulated. That doesn't mean that you aren't allowed to have a wide range of emotions. In fact, that's encouraged, that you have a diverse ability to express things at the appropriate time, and that you aren't stuck in any one particular emotion for extended periods of time. The other major function of the liver is that it is responsible for ensuring the free flow of energy throughout the body. So if you remember from part 1, the spleen will actually help make the energy for the body, and then the liver is going to help ensure that that energy is in the right place at the right time and doesn't get stuck anywhere. Now, with regard to your digestive health, the emotions that you experience can be critical, because if you are stuck in any one particular emotion for an extended period of time, or if you're prone to anger and frustration, those can directly damage the liver and cause that energy to become stagnant. And if you think about stagnant energy as a traffic jam, the more and more cars that pile up on the highway, the hotter all of those engines become, the more ticked off all the drivers get, and the need for a release of that energy becomes more and more acute. For the liver, the most likely place that backed up energy is likely to go is across this pathway back to the spleen and stomach. Unfortunately, in this case, that's a negative release of that energy, and in Chinese medicine we often refer to that as an attack or an invasion. So literally the energy backed up in the liver will proceed to attack the spleen and the stomach. Now, initially, when the energy starts to stack up in the liver, you may feel hypochondriac pain, so that pain just up under the rib cage. You may experience an increase in your blood pressure, flushing of the face, and possibly a headache, and maybe irritation. If that goes unresolved and the liver begins to attack these organs, if it attacks the spleen, you may also experience alternating bowel movements, abdominal pain, as well as gas and bloating. Now, if this stagnation originated from the emotions and the liver, you may more likely have constipation on a more regular basis than the loose stools, but you may still experience the alternation. If the stagnation occurred because the spleen is weak due to possibly a diet high in damp or sweet foods, or that constant stress and worry, then the bowel movements may tend more toward loose. So patients with things like IBS who frequently have alternating loose stools and constipation are probably very familiar with this, that some days you may not be able to predict why, but your bowel movements are loose, and then the next day you may have constipation. It may be due to where that stagnant energy is at any particular time. Now, if that stagnant energy goes and attacks the stomach, you may experience, in addition to the hypochondriac pain, epigastric pains more in the center part of the abdomen, as well as acid reflux, belching, nausea, vomiting, and over an extended period of time that may lead toward the formation of ulcers. So what can happen here with the liver and the spleen and stomach attacking each other and further weakening the ability to manufacture energy and regulate it throughout the body is a sort of negative cycle. So the more damp or sweet things you eat, or the more worry you have, the further weakened these organs become, the less able the liver possibly is to sort out stagnant energy, and it further attacks these organs. So quite often patients get in extended loops and may experience these symptoms for years at a time. The final thing we want to mention about the liver and the gallbladder is that these organs can be directly damaged by diet as well, and in particular diets high in fatty foods or hot and spicy foods. Those types of foods in high quantity can lead to the buildup of heat and damp in these organs, and that may manifest again as hypochondriac pain, nausea, vomiting, as well as a loss of appetite, and over a long period of time, jaundice. So as you can see from both parts 1 and part 2, your diet and emotions have a very strong impact on your digestive health. If you would like more information about how your digestive disorders may be related or discussed in Chinese medical terms, or if you would like to discuss treatment options for Chinese medicine and digestive health, please contact us at 512-937-3667 or send an email to info@doorwaytowellness.org. Thank you.